So the past 12 months have been full of streaming recommendations. That could include shows about chess with Queen's Gambit, to the Tiger King, to countless other options. But today, I want to talk about my favorite streaming show, Ted Lasso, and the 4 management lessons that I took away from this show that affected me and my management style. Hi, my name is Chris Passmore, and I'm your social media CPA. So the 4 lessons from Ted Lasso. As a little background, Ted Lasso is a show about an American who moved to the UK to be a coach of a soccer team, a professional soccer team, and he's had no soccer experience at all, and he was hired to drive the team into the ground and to lose as many games as possible. So there was a moment in the show where Ted Lasso was being made fun of and harassed. And there was a time when Ted looked to the people who were making fun of him and quoted a saying from Walt Whitman. And that saying is, "Be curious, not judgmental." And I found those words impactful. First of all, I had never heard that quote from Walt Whitman, but the point of what he was saying was, you need to be curious about the people around you, and as it relates to your team, to your staff, and to better understand their circumstances. I'm not saying that you can't evaluate your staff and hold them responsible, but I'm saying that you need to be curious about their circumstances. Maybe you have a staff who's struggling and who had in the past done really well and in the recent months has done poorly. The takeaway from this saying of "be curious, not judgmental" is to find out about your staff, what's happening in their lives, so you can help them. I can even compare this to my own company and a preconception we had with our staff that if they weren't working in the office, maybe they were working from home, that they may not have been as productive or effective as if they were in the office. Well, think about that perception now in 2021 and where we're all working remotely. So again, the life lesson here, the management lesson that I wanted to highlight from Ted Lasso, the first one is the saying, "Be curious, not judgmental." Even to the point that I have this on my daily cup of coffee as a reminder to myself. The second management lesson that I took away from Ted Lasso revolves around a wonderful scene where one of Ted Lasso's assistant coaches provided some really critical feedback about the members of the soccer team, but gave those tips to Ted Lasso to give during a pregame speech. And it was at that time that Coach Lasso actually told his assistant coach that, "You know what, I can't say this. You're going to be the one to say this." And what's the takeaway from there? What's the management lesson? The management lesson here, the life lesson, is if you lead a team and a group of people, give your team members, your employees, the opportunity to shine, an opportunity to be in front of the entire team, an opportunity to lead, and they'll surprise you. And I know that's difficult because oftentimes as a manager, as a supervisor, as a team leader, you want to be the one in front because you know it'll be done the way you want. But without giving that opportunity to your team members, to your young people, you're not giving them the opportunity to grow, to learn, and frankly, to shine. And you can see it in that pre-speech by Nate in the show Ted Lasso, the invaluable feedback and the interaction he developed with the other members of the team that really shined through. And he stepped up, and it was a wonderful moment in the show, and just highlights again how important it is, if you lead a team, to give your people opportunities for growth, opportunities to stretch, to be uncomfortable, to do more than they can think they can do. So the third management lesson and life lesson that I took away from Ted Lasso actually revolves around the very last episode of Series 1. And I want to warn everyone here, there is a spoiler coming, so if you haven't seen it, you may want to turn this off. So the team had a chance to not get relegated, and they were going to tie the game And unfortunately, they lost in the last seconds. So the entire team goes to the locker room, and you can see they were sad and they were beaten down and really having a hard time with the loss because they thought they had made it and they would not be relegated. And Coach Lasso stood in front of the entire team and it acknowledged that sad moment. And he made what I thought was a very powerful observation. He said, "Look around you. I know this is a sad moment. Let's recognize this sad moment, but let's recognize that we're going through this sad moment together, and there's something that could be worse than right now, and that's experiencing this sad moment but alone." And I thought that was a powerful message, because think about what we're going through right now and the challenging times that we're dealing with. And I thought this was impactful because all of us have had that moment with our teams where you can recognize how hard right now is, but we're going through it together, and we'll make it through this together, and we'll support each other together. And I think that's a relevant lesson for managers and supervisors and anyone in a position of leadership, because you can go through those hard moments, you can go through those sad moments, but if you come together as a team, then you'll make it through and you'll be better off for it. So that was a very powerful moment. Again, sorry for the spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it, but the takeaway from there was so powerful and so genuine that I thought it was worth mentioning here today. My last management lesson from Ted Lasso and takeaway. There's a wonderful saying that started the series in the first episode and ended the series in its last episode. And it goes down to a simple quote. If you're going to be any animal or being in the world, what are you going to be? And his advice is always to his soccer players,
be a goldfish.
And you know what? For anyone who's seen the show, you know exactly what that means. It means have a short memory. If you have a situation where things don't go as planned, or there was a failure or a mistake, have a short memory. Acknowledge what was done, but move on and move forward. And it's such a simple term, isn't it?
Be a goldfish.
But I thought it was powerful because we've all made mistakes, so you acknowledge the mistake, you identify it, and you move on. And that was a reoccurring recommendation to his team players from Ted Lasso throughout the entire series that I thought was very relevant and very simple. So there you have it. Those are my 4 management lessons, 4 life lessons from the new series Ted Lasso on Apple TV+. Again, besides just having management lesson takeaways, it's a fun show, so check it out and I hope you like it. And I look forward to speaking with you again.